So when an equation of a line is given to you in the form y equals mx plus b, you're being given some really important information. And we call this form the gradient intercept form because what I have is the gradient here, that's the coefficient of x, and I have the intercept here. So that's the constant at the end of your equation. This only works when it is in that form. So y is equal to, y has to be positive, the coefficient of x, and then plus or minus some constant on the end. So the m, the coefficient of x, tells you what the gradient of a line is, and b, the constant at the end, tells you the intercept of the line. Those two pieces of information are enough to help you craft the line, tell you the slope, tell you the rate of change of x, tell you what the y-intercept is. You can get a lot of information just from that. So question 1, y equals 5x minus 2. They want us to find the gradient and the intercept. Well, it's pretty easy. Gradient is 5. The intercept is negative 2. Make sure you include that negative because the negative goes with the 2, and that's really important. If you do a y-intercept of 2, you've got a very, very different line. Okay, now if you have a negative or a fractional gradient, then the equation could look like this. So y equals negative x over 3 plus 7. So before you work this out, what I want you to consider is how else can we write that? This negative x over 3 means that we have negative a third x. Okay, so what is the gradient for this line? Well, the gradient is equal to minus a third. The y-intercept is equal to 7. Both very easy to read off. The only time it's going to get complicated is if they give you the equation in a different form. So as you can see here, we've got 2x minus 5y plus 3 is equal to 0. So what this means, the gradient is not 2 and the intercept is not 3 because we don't have the equation in the form y is equal to. If you want to be able to read the equation and the intercept off, you need to do some algebraic manipulation. What you're doing is making y the subject of this equation. So we need this 5y to be just y is equal to. So the first thing I'm going to do is add 5y, and the reason I'm going to do that is because we have negative 5y and I don't want a negative. I want y. So I'm moving y to the other side. I'm also going to write it in a different order, but it doesn't really matter which side you start with. So what I've done is I've taken that negative 5y across to the other side, so it's 5y. I've added 5y to both sides. That would leave me with 2x plus 3, and then I've just rearranged the order. Now, this still isn't in the form of y equals. We only need y, not 5y. So I need to divide through by 5. That's going to give me y is equal to, so 2/5 x plus 3/5. So now I can read off my gradient, which is 2/5, and my y-intercept, which is 3/5. So in exercise 7.4, it's up to you. You need to do as much as you need to feel comfortable with this. If you've done a lot of this in year 9 and 10, then just do enough to make sure that you're comfortable. If you've got no questions, you're not experiencing any difficulties, feel free to move on. If it's something that you need to work on, then work on it. Good luck, and I'll see you in class.